Hello and welcome back, Josh, Sam, and anyone else who's watching to Lviv and Let Die. It's been a bit of a disappointing end of the season. We won the league. That was never really in doubt. We only dropped 2 more points throughout so far as I know. But we then struggled through a quarter-final in the Cup against Shakhtar, winning 1-0 after extra time. And then we went down to a very late goal to Metalurg Donetsk, not even the good Donetsk. A wayward pass from Kamara gave the ball to Emmanuel Bayeha, who tapped home. They had more shots on target than us, even though we had 17 shots in total. And we also had a penalty shout turned down. So we lost in the Ukrainian Cup at the semi-final stage. And then, even more disappointingly, Karpaty, who are our city rivals, went into the final and won 4-0 against Metalurg. So they win the Ukrainian Cup for the second year. They last won it way back in 2024 or something like that, I think. 2024 exactly. And this year they beat Metalurg, who were in their first final since 2010, where they lost to Tavrius Simferopol. So a newish winner for the Cup, I suppose, in theory at least. Would have been nice to have an actual new winner. But there we go. And yeah, so the league, it doesn't matter that much really. We've won by a mile. If we win today, we will again break our season's point tally, so I suppose that's a good thing. We can drop all of these youth players. The thing that it does highlight is that our Ukrainian youth players are poor. We did before have players like Chumachenko, who would never become a first teamer, but he's also unable to play. Well, no, sorry, but we sold him, right? So like it's just the end of it's just the way that it is, I suppose. But we need to keep that kind of level of average, but not that bad. Ukrainian players coming through, which so far we've failed to do. We'll put our 2 striker boys on the bench. We'll play because I want to thrash them now they've beaten us. Junior can play. Shahata coming on. These players are all having to jump back into the squad because of the fact that they weren't able to play in the last one. And we have a spot on the bench for a youth player, it seems. Any good? What about this David Hayek? He's actually supposed to be quite good, so maybe he can make his spot on the bench. Good luck to him in his endeavours. Let's go and beat them. Rosic has been in fine form recently. He's scored a bunch of goals. He's back up to scoring mid-20s for a season. We see that a couple of players still only need 1 or 2 more goals. Musa Kurt just needs the 1 to get his 25th goal. Planinsek is still waiting for his 3 to get him up to 75. It doesn't seem likely he'll get them in this one, but I'm hoping that we can go out there and take revenge. They better not lose us our undefeated streak in the league. Hang on. A firmware upgrade coming up. I was worried for a second it was an error, but it wasn't. Here we go then. Let's beat them on their really weirdly long pitch. Rosic has a chance very early on and doesn't manage to take it. I've removed the sort of match story thing there. It wasn't very interesting. I've added this thing because I want to see when a match is windy, because I noticed there was a game not long ago where someone's ball just flew, and I thought, well, that's clearly affected by the weather, and I wanted to be able to adjust to that. So that's what match information is doing there, if you're interested. Metalurg finishing probably around 11th or 12th or possibly 10th if they beat us. Not a bad result from the season for them. Merino scores, and we are 1-0 up. There we go. They are still staying in 11th, it seems. Govela and Zirka have been relegated. Zirka, not a surprise, although they did get 11 points. That's not bad. It seems unlikely that they're actually going to stick on 11 because, Govela and Zirka are playing, so maybe Zirka can get a final sort of morale-boosting win. You never know. In terms of the top of the table, Kruvbas, as per usual. Oh, good effort. Coming comfortably second, although 20 points behind us. Shakhtar having a resurgence after a couple of years of very poor results. And this bloody pitch means it's impossible to have any pop-ups open. Shakhtar recovering sort of to Marino scores again. Let's get over to 110 goals if we can, please. So they have done well to get back up. Kiev as well have also secured a resurgence and seem to be set for European football again for the first time in a while, which is nice. Karpaty dropped off, having come second last year, and Dnipro as well. They've actually improved, I think, on where they were last year. They're pretty much just a boring mid-table side now, despite being a relatively okay team. They're just one of the many big clubs that the fact that us and Krivbas have lots of money and are now doing well have displaced, and now they're sort of adjusting to that, and that's good. And it's quite fun that at least there is some turnaround on who the good teams are in the league. It's better that it's not just us, Krivbas, Shakhtar and Dinamo, for example. We do get seasons where Karpaty do well, Dnipro do well, Metalurg the other years doing okay. There's also those odd moments where Alexandria got into Europe this season and that's clearly hurt them. They got into Europe last season and that clearly hurt them. Ilichevets they seemingly sort of finished 10th, finished 5th, finished 11th, finished 6th, so they bounce around. It's interesting. See how the league sort of starts to rearrange itself now that we are the dominant force. But at least we did manage to win one thing this year, not counting the Super Cup. We did manage to retain the league, and we're going to win it with we're going to even more extend our points tally. There's only 4 points that we could have got more in this season. The game against Arsenal Kiev, where we drew 0-0 way back before Christmas. Oh, good save. That was just frustrating. They're not a good side. They managed to somehow scrape a 0-0. We, despite having scored all these goals, that was probably the only goal. Well, it must be the only game we didn't score in this season, which is not impressive. But it's also not something that's to be particularly concerned about. It's just one of those off-day things. The one that was slightly more annoying was the away draw with Dnipro, where we drew 1-1 and we had to come back into that one. We also had plenty of chances in that one, but we just didn't seem on our usual game. Big Mick, get it out, please. We're not conceding a goal to these mugs. Right, 55 minutes gone. We've got some time. We've got the ability to make a change. Maybe Rosic can come off and let Konstadalov play. Panda Goto I'd like to bring on if I can. We'll bring on Hayek, let him have his debut, because he'll probably be playing in the first team next year, or at least be on loan at one of our feeders. And some confusion in the ranks there. Metalurg managed to just wallop the ball out for a corner. Here comes David Hayek for his debut. Gogo puts the ball in the middle. It's gone out for another corner. Okay. Gogo was free kick. Oh, what an absolute cannon. A stunning free kick from Gogo, and that puts us on 109. I'd quite like to get to 112. It's a bit of a stretch at the moment, but if we could get to having a 100 goal difference, that would be delightful. Let's bring on... Naktala. He's had a good season, and let him have one more appearance. I would have brought on Panda Goto, but he's just come back from a fairly long injury, and he's clearly not even got to 100% fitness yet, so it's maybe not a good idea to risk him. Junior puts the ball in the middle, and the ball has gone in. Naktala's shot deflects into the path of Merino, who puts the ball in for his hat-trick. We are 4-0 up, 110 goals for the season. Not bad at all. I'm not sure if that's a record. I know we scored over 100 a couple of years ago. I have a feeling that we got something like 114 in that season. But let's see. Well, let's see if we can get to 6 anyway. It'd be good. Junior, Merino, Razor Ramon. Oh, Strenko saves. I've renamed him Razor Ramon because it's a wrestler name, and Ramon on its own sounds a little bit... I don't know. It just seemed... it's a cooler name. Razor Ramon. Konstadalov. Puts it out to Ramon, who fires straight at Ostrenko. Lasha Gogoa, strange little ball back to Musakert. But we bring the ball forward again. Kontzadalov has his shot saved by Ostrenko just about. Marino puts the ball in the middle, but they again sort of scramble it clear. And we come again. Ramon to Junior, who, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned it, but so every time he's played on these videos, he's had a sort of negative or fairly low morale. It's because in the last game before Christmas, he asked to be played more, and I said, yes, I'll play you more, no worries. And then obviously I think I brought him on as a sub in that game, and then after that there's Masha coming in. Hello. Okay. It's a goal, but it's a foul. So then obviously because he'd been made this promise, then that's time limited rather than the next number of fixtures limited. Well, can you do? I mean, Masha's taking a picture of our chair, which seems to have broken. Wait, but and yeah, say hi to the guys, Masha.
Hello.
It's a great ball from Junior. Marino, can he get a fourth? No, but Junior, he's crashed the bar. Okay, thank you. And then the ball comes in again, and it's gone out. It's not going to be 100 goals for us, 110 goals or 112 goals for us this year. 110 is enough. What was I saying? Masha's distracted me. And so it's not based on the next number of games. It's based on the next, I think, 6 weeks or something like that, maybe not even that. And so because obviously we played the last game and then didn't play a game for a month because of the winter break, he then was like, well, you broke your promise to me and I refuse to stay and I want to leave. And I was like, no, you're an idiot. Obviously that's not going to happen. And so I rejected his request, and then he's been upset ever since. He'll come round. Oh, one more we could have had. No, he'll come round to it. It's no problem. But I mean, it's just very frustrating to see that kind of stupid game mechanic not quite work the way it is meant to. Sensible game mechanic works stupidly, and he's been in a mood ever since. Even though he's played quite a lot, because him and Determined Henry, we had quite a big build-up of fixtures, and I thought, well, I'll just let him play all the easier league ones, and he did well. But I think he would have done better if he'd not been in a mood the whole time. So, anyway, we get our revenge on Metalurg. Marino with a hat-trick, 1 goal for Lasha Gogoa, that's stunning free kick, which he does occasionally do. We see there that Krivbas actually drew with Karpati, so we ended up winning the league by 19 points, not by 20. Zerka and Govela drew 1-1, shared the spoils, and therefore Zerka end on 11. And there's not really anything else interesting that happened. Shakhtar drew with Volin, so we're just 33 points clear of third. It's incredible. Anyway, we meet expectations. Hayek makes his debut. Fans are jubilant. The key, though, is that means that our second season in a row unbeaten. It's a good feeling. Can't complain. Pretty special way. Very pleased. Can't see why I'd want to leave. Delighted. Leave. So this is obviously going to be a shorter episode because there's only the one game to play, and we see there the European qualifications for all of our respective teams in the league. No, I didn't want to do that. Oh yes, I did. So anyway, quickly, we have increased again our goal scoring. It's actually the most goals we've ever scored in a season. I thought it was more. I thought we'd scored more that season, but no, with 98 goal difference, it'd be quite fun to one day have a season where we finish with 100 goal difference or more. But there we go. What I wanted to show you, though, was the sequences where we see how many games without losing. We are now at 89. So there's only 11 games next season. The first third, until we get to 100 games unbeaten in this league. You can see here that no losses, and that loss was the first day of the season that season. So it's just been so many games. We're just so dominant. That's how things look here. We can look at how the season has ended in Poland, because I'm kind of interested what happened. I think they probably came. Śląsk probably came second. Oh, third. Oh no, it's not finished yet though. There's 3 games left, so they could still win it. But it does look quite a lot like Polonia Warszawa are going to retain the league for a 3rd year in a row, which would be quite a long series of Śląsk losses. Lechia, though, are feeder club, sitting pretty in 4th. Still technically in with a chance of winning the league if everybody else above them loses all their games. What a life it's been for them, up and then up here again. This is the impact I have, not even on clubs that I'm actually playing for. They've got actually managing. Our 3 players are their best. Craig Sibanda, he's not even technically that good, but he's got an average rating of 7.6 basically. He's doing excellently well. Nia Bitun, the winger that we brought last year, he's gone there, scored 9 goals, 5 assists, good average rating. And Jose Freire, he's played a lot and he's done okay for an 18-year-old left back playing his first season of senior football. First full season. He's done okay. The other 2 have not done quite so well. Goricio particularly not played very much, but that sort of is reflected by the fact that he's not that good. And Gustavo Gomez, the player we sent to them, he's not scored very many goals, annoyingly. So he's just not done well. We'll probably sell him this summer. Oh, in fact, his deal expires this summer, so he'll just go on a free. And we're signing this guy off of them, Michał Sadowski. No, we're not. No, we're not. Sorry, that's completely wrong. He's doing well for them. It's actually this guy, Daniel Makowski, who we're signing off of them on a free. Or possibly it is a free because his deal's only off for 1 year. Yeah, we're signing him for a free. He probably isn't going to actually get that good, but I mean, we'll definitely be able to sell him for money. And if not, we can always just send him back to Lechia for another season of fun. So there we go. That's what's going on in Poland. The Premier League, if we look for Swindon, we'll find out what happened. Swindon have won the League Cup this season again, which is the 3rd time in 4 years where they've won it. It looks very likely that Liverpool are actually going to win the league for the first time in 50 or 60 years. But Spurs could still put an end to that. Swindon, having already qualified for the Europa League because of their League Cup win, are also still in contention for the top 4. Arsenal, I think, are in the final of the Europa League as well, if we just look at their squad and then their fixtures. Yes, they're in the Europa League final against Fenerbahce. And there's some big games for them. Leicester City, Swindon, in terms of the top 4 chances. Leicester, Man City and Swindon. That's Arsenal's potential that they don't even finish in the top 4. Very nice. In the division below, everyone's most interested team, Western-super-Mare, have won the championship with 98 points, putting them... Whoa, bloody hell. Leicester City won it with just all the points that year. This year, though, we've got Western-super-Mare on 98 points. They win the league again. I think that's their 2nd ever title win. They won it 11 years ago, and when we came up way back in the mid-2010s, we didn't actually win the league. We just came up via the playoffs, I think. And so they'll be back in the big time next season, which is nice to see. Plymouth, they're still in mid-table there in the championship. Oxford have disappointingly won League One. Although Dover have also won promotion up into the championship. That'll be the first time there for them. Nice work. Dover, a former team of mine, so I always like to see them do well. Anyone else interested? Truro, our once enemies way back when. They are still in League One, doing well, all right. We've also got some fun as Nottingham Forest and Portsmouth are promoted from League Two. Lewis still doing well there in mid-table. Everton in 10th, slightly above them, and Hendon and Blackpool got relegated. That's a shame. We won't go through everything, but yeah, that's it then. So I'll see you in the next season. Possibly it will be our last one. Haven't really decided yet. We've won 7 league titles. Maybe it'd be fun to get us to 10. Maybe. I'm starting to struggle to enjoy when you have to win. I don't know. We'll see. But we'll definitely do at least 1 or 2 more years. So I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.